Typically, when one of these videos comes squeaking along, everyone kind of just rolls their eyes. I mean, really, how can there be one profession or one class that's better for new players than the other? I mean, I guess, but... Well, okay, you make a fair point. What profession is best for new players? Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. I am the Caffeinated Dad, and today I'm going to be talking specifically about the best profession for new players. Guild Wars 2 is starting to see a lot more people pay attention to the game, and with End of Dragons coming around, we have a lot more new faces here than normal. So, I figure we should roll out the welcome mat, so we can be there to help these new players fall in love just the same way that we fell in love with Guild Wars 2. So, drum roll, the best profession is the Quaggan. I don't know why I keep referencing these guys in my videos. I'm sorry. But, no, the warrior. The warrior is the best profession for new players. What specifically makes the warrior the best profession for new players? Well, to be fair, the warrior has one of the easiest kits to understand in the game. I mean, you take stick, whack, hammer, whack, whack. Up close and personal, that's where the warrior shines. It's nothing too crazy to grasp for a new player. It gives you a very simplistic idea of how to play the game. The skills aren't overly complicated. For the most part, you can do fairly well with just loading in signets as your skills, and boom, you're doing good damage, you're having good survivability, and you don't really have to press a button that often. And honestly, with all the other things that a new Guild Wars 2 player is going to have to pay attention to, simplistic combat and easily understandable skills, why wouldn't you remove that barrier if you could? And to take it a step further, each profession has their own profession mechanic, a specific ability that's right above their main action bar that changes based off the profession that you're playing. If we look at the engineer, they have a tool belt that changes with the skills and abilities that they use. It becomes a bit more complicated. With the warrior, it's not so much. You have one button, and it's usually a powerful attack. Boom. You build up adrenaline by landing abilities. Boom. It's simplistic. It's meant to be easy. And I feel like that is one big boon that new players would love to see. For this, essentially, we're using the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. You have the ability, you use it when you're at max adrenaline. No issue. Now, that's not to say later in Endgame, you're not going to focus on honing in on those abilities and timing it with others. I'm not saying that. But for a new player, it's an easy bridge to get into for profession mechanics and understanding skills and abilities. It's straightforward. Something that may seem kind of small, but in my opinion makes a huge difference for new players is how versatile the warriors can be. Warriors can literally use the most amount of weapons out of any profession in the game. They can use just about every weapon they find in combat. When you're leveling through the zones and you're killing all these different mobs and you're getting these bags of loot, you're going to come across a bunch of different weapons. Having a profession that can easily jump up and use a new weapon as an upgrade is just, that's really versatile. That is very helpful for a new player. On top of that, warriors have a ton of different skills and abilities that focus on and around survivability, crowd control, and then just damage. Honestly, being the versatile Swiss Army knife that they are, they're not going to have trouble finding groups for content. When we look at, say, the Elementalist or the Thief, we could tell right away that they're squishy. We know. They were 100% the banana that was left in the fruit bowl to rot. Warriors, however, are lucky enough not to have that problem. Being in the soldier category for the new players, it's broken into soldier, adventurer, or scholar categories. They of course have a huge emphasis of being upfront and personal with their enemies. Having said that, they can also shrug off a lot of attacks a lot easier in comparison to other professions. Warriors have some of the highest armor in the game. Now, even with all that armor, it's not to say that you are invincible. You can still die. Yes, you can definitely die. Honestly, I don't care how armored you are, you're just gonna get ripped to shred by pocket raptors. Those guys are just, it is ridiculous. They were so overtuned. The reason the warrior is so great as far as its durability is because it gives a new player a lot of room for error. You're gonna make mistakes on your first playthrough. You're gonna walk right up to a legendary mob and smack the crap out of it thinking that you're okay. Yeah, you probably will die. But you'll be able to take 2 or 3 hits to say, oh, this is probably a bad idea. Being able to be forgiving and being able to survive a bit longer in comparison to other professions is one of the best reasons why warriors are the best profession for new players. Terrible dad joke to earn your like and subscription. Why does Waldo wear stripes in his pictures? Because he doesn't want to be spotted. Actually, miss telling dad jokes. Anyway, lastly, we've gotten to endgame capabilities. We are max level, and now we have more to do than what we know what to spend our time with. What? Everything from fractals to world versus world to structured PvP to open story PvE. I mean, there's so much that you could get into while playing endgame in Guild Wars 2. And that right there is where the warrior shines. Being able to fit into multiple endgame content modes and not really have too much of an issue joining groups and doing things is probably one of the best things for new players. I mean, you could just roll engineer and get denied on every single group that you go into. Their builds and their skills are unique enough that they can almost earn a spot in every piece of endgame content. There's very few pieces of content that you shouldn't bring a warrior to. Even the core specialization for the warrior is versatile enough to be invited to multiple different groups. One of the best structured PvP specializations is the core warrior. Not only being a godsend as far as leveling is concerned, but then also having the door opened wide for endgame content. I honestly believe that the warrior is the most versatile, durable tool for new players. It has an easy entry to understand the game, understand all the different mechanics, and then it also rewards you at the end of your journey by being able to be competitive in a number of different facets of endgame content. I mean, honestly, we all need banners. What do you think about the warrior as far as the best profession for new players? Tell me in the comment section down below. Are you a new player who wants to avoid some critical errors? Click on this video right here, and we'll talk about 5 big mistakes that you can make as a new player in Guild Wars 2. As always, Caffeinated Dad. See you guys around.